7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is good, everyone? It is your boy Politic and Hawk alongside my guy, Mr. Joey Woods, Pat from Ambler, Mr. Moyo Fit, Chris Wilson will be joining us momentarily. We are Still Steps coming to you live on a beautiful Friday evening, courtesy of Edge of Philly Sports. Mr. Joey Woods, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. We finally made it to a Friday on a long weekend. Got the holiday on Monday, an action-packed wrestling weekend, so much so that we not going to be able to make it all, so we got to watch it on replay, but it's a hell of a weekend for wrestling fans.
Yeah, that's a fact. A lot of turnbuckle talk we got to do this weekend. So we're going to get right into it. But first, we do have a special guest with us this evening. Our guest is a podcast producer for The Ringer, where he produces MacMania and the Book of Wrestling, which is part of the Ringer Wrestling Show. He's also produced interviews with many WWE superstars, including Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Big E, and many, many more. Our guest is also the co-host and co-founder of Wrestling Rom. Best part of this introduction is that this is just the half of his accolades. Let me tell you, representing Baltimore, Maryland, our guest is Mr. Brian H. Waters. Mr. Brian, what is good, my brother? Welcome
What's
to Still
good?
Steps.
What's good? What's good? Appreciate you having me on. I do got to make one correction, though, only because of the particulars. MacMania is no longer anymore. It's now all about Wednesday Worldwide with me, Cal, and Ben, which I produce and co-host. So yeah, I just had to make that correct, just because people was like, wait, MacMania is back.
Wait, back? Look, you can tell them Adam at politic and _hawk, and I'll tell them all, hey man, my bad, my bad. So look, so before we dive into what's happening in the world of professional wrestling today, what I like to do is when we have guests on our show, we tend to love to start out by asking the question. Tell us about the first time you were introduced into pro wrestling.
It was before I was born. Apparently, my mother was pregnant, and she said I kept kicking every time wrestling came on, and that's when back in '86. So we talk in June. I'm born in August '86, so about June or July. She was on bed rest, and she said she didn't want to know, whether I was going to be a boy or a girl. But it was that moment she knew I was going to be a boy. And sure enough, like on the intro, the first episode of Wednesday Worldwide told the story. But shout out to my Uncle Troy, who's almost 11 years older than me. He just was trying to convince my mother to name me Junkyard Dog. and he was dead serious. Thankfully, she didn't name me that. But it was all started like between him, both of my parents, my grandfather and my grandmother, watching wrestling with them all the time. I would say my first wrestling memory is WrestleMania 6, but it was, that's like the first memory I have. But, they said anytime wrestling was on, I would watch it. My mother said even in the doctor's office one time, a little boy, we were sitting there playing with the trucks. And I said, do you like wrestling? And I was probably 2. And he said, yeah. And we kept playing. She said, if he'd have said no, she believed I would have stopped playing with the kid.
Wow, that's amazing.
Side note, me and my brother were such wrestling fans that my parents actually let me name my brother after a wrestler. His name is actually Shawn Michaels.
Oh wow!
So
why would you do that to him?
Listen, I was 5. I thought he was a good guy at that point. That's when DX was and it's prominence. You know what I mean? So
Oh no!
I thought it was cool having a little brother could walk around saying "suck it with." You know what I mean? So
That's
Is he
crazy, man.
now, is he a Sean fan?
he is only because that's his name.
Oh man, because
Yeah.
it would have been funny if he was like more of a Brett guy.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I was
No,
just
yeah.
going to say that. Yo, what if he was like, man, I can't stand Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
man. Like, what if out of pettiness he decided to when he get older to change his name to actually a Michael Hickenbottom?
Right.
Like,
it was
oh,
either that or Elmo, so I'm thinking he was happier with Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean?
right. We got Joe Howe checking in, part of the X Brand crew. Also checking in, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, and we also got those Wrestling Girls podcast chiming in. So
Shout out to those wrestling girls.
That's
We'll talk
sweet.
about that when we jump into my career.
Yeah, for sure. So coming, okay, so you're kicking.
Mm-hmm.
Almost could have been Junkyard Dog. So like, who was that first wrestler like you were like really attached to? Like, what? This is it. Like this is the one. Like got you.
What we
you're
talked
the
about in
first
pre-production.
You're the first person we've had on this show that, believe it or not, has not said Stone Cold.
Wow, so I must
Yeah.
be old.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
No, like, look, it was like a whole line of everybody like Stone Cold.
Wow.
Like, okay, like, like, except for the Kelly twins. That I think they did say Triple H though. They was like the only exception, that went Triple H. But I'll be honest, the man in the red and yellow, he was like my first favorite too. Like, between him and Ultimate Warrior, like that, those are my guys.
When you one thing I learned when there was this thing created called the IWC, I learned a lot of wrestling fans, probably 99%, are wrestling fans and comic book fans. I'm in the minority. I never got into comics. The most was maybe Spider-Man, and that was because of the movies. And maybe played the X-Men video games, but so wrestling was everything for me. I love Power Rangers. Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat as far as video games.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just Hogan, like Hogan, Savage, and Warrior. That's when I found these at Walmart. I said I gotta get them. I was talking to my best friend, shout out to Brother Hugh on the wrestling realm. And I was on the phone. I said, yo, they got these like plush dolls. I think they're gonna be good in the background. I said, okay, they got Hogan. Hugh hated Hogan before it was cool to hate Hogan. Like that's always been the case. Then it was like, I said, yo, they got Savage too. What, man? I don't want it. But they was like $10. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna get it. So that's but like that's my childhood. Those three. And then I always said that had Texas Tornado been around, because like I remember him and just being like, as a child, like, wow, he's so cool. But I made that transition from Hogan to Brett. Like the way WWE wanted the programming, I did it. Like Hogan was my guy, and here comes Bret Hart. It was to the point, y'all like old school video games. I'm full one out. WrestleMania, the arcade game.
Oh, that's a classic.
If you played this in my house, you couldn't win the world championship with Shawn Michaels or Undertaker or Razor Ramon. You had to win it with Bret Hart. That's how big of a Bret Hart fan I was. So like I've always said, like up until 2014, my number one favorite wrestler was Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart. Like it's not one or the other, it's equal.
Yeah. Quick sidebar: WrestleMania arcade game and In Your House were underrated. A lot of people, a lot of my friends coming up, they didn't like it for the sake that it wasn't like the actual wrestling, of like the the games now, but it was more so it had that Street Fighter vibe to it, where like it was like the straight screen, you can only go left, right, for the most part. But those are my two favorites. But I gotta actually co-sign with you, like when it came to like back in the day, certain like action figures per se. Like I wasn't a big action figure guy.
Okay.
With the exception of it had to been wrestlers. Like all my friends were like army guys. You got the army GI Joe action
Yep.
figures like that, and that was like my brother's thing. But for me, like it was always the wrestling action figures. Like I really couldn't get into anything else. But hey, listen, it was telling me something because it is leading me to where I'm at today. So very, 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 very grateful for it. The more you know.
Facts.
So we know you've always had this love for wrestling. You know, you were kicking in the womb and stuff. Was being a wrestler ever a goal, or were you always type of dude who was like, I'm not really into that bumping type of thing, and maybe I'll be on the outside looking in type of thing?
That's a great question because it's very, believe it or not, very rarely asked. I don't really get to tell the story too much. It was a brief period, and when I say brief, I'm talking ninth grade, maybe, where I was like, I had goals to be the next, like not next, but be a WWE champion, and I was going to do the Kurt Angle route. Now, I was never one that was like following amateur wrestling, but I figured if I joined the high school wrestling team, I would learn how to do it and so forth. I could have a career. But I had got diagnosed with scoliosis in seventh grade. And for those who do not know, that's like when you have a curve in your spine. And, fortunately, I never had to get like surgeries or anything. I had to wear a back brace to try to correct it, but it was just uncomfortable wearing it at night. Um, so I remember I went out and with the wrestling team, unlike any other sport, you just signed up. It wasn't like basketball, you try out. And I came home and I remember my dad sitting there like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm joining the wrestling team." "Well, why you want to do that?" "Because I want to wrestle." And he was like, "But your back, this, that. Why you want to play basketball?" And I remember not having a heart. It's like, I'm not good enough. Because I figured I was gonna get that whole speech. You could do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, So he convinced me not to, and then I was like, well, and then that's it. So then, and then also watching, it was probably like the Secrets of Professional Wrestling, and it was Tom Pritchard on there talking about he had a 14-year-old daughter. He had a heart he hardly seen grow up because he was always on the road, and at that point in time, I was like, I want to have kids one day. And so that's what kind of like persuaded me. And I was like, I'd rather be in broadcast journalism.
Yeah, I mean, talk about travel on the road. I think they said they're on the road like 200 plus out of the 365. So yeah, definitely family life takes a back burner there. So that kind of pushed you towards broadcasting journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like right away, okay, like this is what I want to do, or how did that kind of the navigate of, because broadcasting journalism is huge, you know what I mean? You can be on or you can be behind the screen. How did that kind of happen? Was it organically, or you knew what you wanted to do and you chased that?
It was sort of organic. So at one point, so around 10th grade, I'm like real heavy in the sports. The Ravens are coming off their first Super Bowl. So this is 2002. Ravens, 2001, 2002. Ravens coming off of their Super Bowl. I don't know what the Orioles were doing at the time, but at this time we're looking at the Diamondbacks beating the Yankees in the World Series, which is like one of my favorite World Series ever because Randy Johnson is my all-time favorite pitcher, and at that time I hated the Yankees. So it's just a great thing. And then the next year is obviously we also had Barry Bonds, the home run chase. Like that's why I kind of like don't hate steroids in baseball and put those guys in the Hall of Fame because like they explain the summers of 98 to like 2002 to people. It was like nothing else. Like you was focused.
Yeah,
So
side note, Mark McGwire is my favorite player because of them summers.
there you go. So I wanted to be at that point, it was like I wanted to be a sports announcer, and the goal then was like to broadcast the Super Bowl, the World Series. And I always was like, I fell in love with sports. And going to college, taking a couple years off, right before I was gonna go back, I thought I was gonna go to school to learn in front of camera. Well, I was playing softball in my church league, and shout out to Monique Jones. She was with the Boston Globe at the time. She would later go to ESPN and now with Baltimore Banner. We had just got eliminated in the playoffs, I think. Or maybe we just got eliminated in playoffs. And her and I are sitting on the sideline just talking. We were watching like some of the other games. So I told her what I wanted to do. And she said, "Well, did you ever think about production?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "There's only been so many jobs in front of the camera, there's more behind the camera." so that was like right there when I made the switch. Like I thought about it and I was like, yeah. So I went to school, and whenever there was an elective, I would take the broadcasting classes or the radio classes. But I really wanted to learn how to shoot, edit, and post. And I went to coming out of college, joined the National Association of Black Journalists, went to ESPN where I worked there for 2 years. I left right when they started their like partnership, their brief partnership they had with WWE. So left 2015. My last week, Brock Lesnar came to campus, got to meet him. Also got to see earlier that year, just the Seth Rollins cash in. I was working on a social media team, but I was off. But I'm like writing the tweets because whoever was like on the clock that night didn't really understand wrestling. So I'm at home like, no, write it like this. And of course, I pulled the political move, brother. I made sure they covered Daniel Bryan's match. Spoiler alert, that's my new favorite wrestler. But I made sure they covered his match in the opening, like the beginning of the show. I said, make sure you put Daniel Bryan just won the Intercontinental Championship, comes back, he was the leader of the Yes Move, something crazy like that. So I made sure because they was just going to tweet about from the Sports Center account the big matches, and I wanted that to be such a big deal. So working there, and I put my 2-week notice in, and Steve Brabant, who's now the VP of digital media at WWE, at the time was my manager. He was the coordinating producer at ESPN, and he told me, he's like, dude, I was gonna send you to SummerSlam. I'm like, man,
let me take that 2 weeks back real fast.
right. But I wanted to move back to Baltimore, and so that's how I came back home and worked at Johns Hopkins, and
that's where my friend actually works there right now as the event coordinator.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was working in media relations under the market communications department, and what was it? April 2021. My former manager, he sent me a DM. Me and him actually worked together at ESPN. He said, "Hey man, we just got a partnership with the WWE at the Ringer." Well, no, he said, "Well, they about to get one." He said, "If you're interested, we're gonna need producers." I'm like, yes. And after about 1,000 interviews, I was able to get the job, and I started September 2022. But the process, like even in podcasting, when I was at Morgan State, me and so I had a show with my cousin who I've cut off since. We had a show in 2010, and then in like you introducing yourself in the class and all that. I'm doing this introduction in my TV studio class, and my friend Danny, who me and her went to high school together, she had said to me, she was like, "Hey, he got a wrestling show." I'm like, ain't time to talk about that now. So all of a sudden I hear somebody in the row behind me. Nothing wrong with that. I turn around, it's this guy who's standing 6'6", and he's got on like basketball sweats, and I was like, "You like wrestling?" "Yes, I do." It's the real Dwayne Allen. So me and him would talk wrestling like every day from this point on. And then next thing you know, I said, "Bro, like we should have a show together." So he knew about the show I was doing. So the idea was I was going to kind of like have simultaneously both shows, but then my cousin got into some stuff, wasn't the right mental space, whatever. So then we created the wrestling round. We launched July. I think we dropped the first episode July 1st. Well, that's the YouTube mark, at least July 1st, 2011. Right. And we, the idea was just to just talk wrestling. We would, do top shows, this, that, and the other. And we did like the first couple of seasons, we had the worst equipment, like just the regular camera wasn't even HD, no microphones. We got our computers. We're editing on Windows Movie Maker, and we cranking out episodes like that, right? We get through college, them refund checks. I was flipping them, buying equipment. I'm buying microphones. We buying cameras. Now we just don't have the time. Brother's working, and then I go to ESPN, come back. We did a couple, but then now, I got, kids and stuff. So it was just like, we really couldn't. And then, life would happen. I was like, I'm gonna create the Break It Down with Brian H podcast. I created that as a part of the Wrestling Realm brand. That I created that in 2018. rode that all the way through. I still keep it going, but now I don't have to do it every week because we got the Wrestling Around Now podcast. And so and in 2020, I always say, especially for a lot of black podcasters, you saw the renaissance because I was like, well, actually 2019, when I was like, I would go to work and I put on my headphones and I would start listening. I mentioned like those wrestling girls. I discovered their show. I discovered like Jobber Tears, Black Wrestling, Black Announce Table. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know. It was like, where was everybody before? Like in 2010, 2011. So it was real cool. Of course, most of them are all based in New York. And so I always make the joke, like when I go up there, I said, y'all New Yorkers, y'all real nice. But then but then finally me and Dwayne figured out, okay, life is gonna happen. How can we do the show? Well, we use this little program that we all use. I ain't gonna put it out there because they ain't paying me. I don't know if they paying y'all, but y'all ain't give me permission, so we ain't going to give no props. No
my
free
brother.
Exactly. So we figured out how we could do the show, and so we've been doing the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Actually, this week we just did episode 91, and we've added Brother Hugh and Brother Brandon last year, and both of them, me and Hugh went to school. So it's funny. Me and Hugh went to middle school together. Me and Brandon went to high school together. And me and Dwayne went to college together. So that's been fun, and we've added them. And then last year around this time, Queen PR of Those Wrestling Girls, she was doing TWG Fan Club with Queen PR. Well, she's doing the show. She like got rotating guests. Then one day it's me, Justin Rich, and the one and only Ciendo. And she said, you know what? This is the crew. And we've been doing that every Wednesday. So like when I tell you Wednesday morning, generally around 11 a.m., I'm recording Wednesday Worldwide. As soon as we record, I would probably go grab a cup of coffee, grab something to eat, get right to editing that. By the time I finish, crank out the social clips, it's probably 3 or 4 o'clock. My daughter's home from school, play with her. Then 6 o'clock, I'm getting ready. 7 o'clock, wrestling. The TWG Fan Club comes on. That's live. Get off of that. 10:30 at night, the Wrestling Around Now podcast. So that's how my Wednesdays are. And then
you're all wrestled out at that point.
Yeah, it's cool because like all 3 shows are different. So except like I will say, somehow, some way, we found a way not to talk about CM Punk on TWG Fan Club because it was AEW Appreciation Night. So we didn't talk about Punk. But when there's like big news like that, sometimes it's like, all right, I said this here. What can I do different? But usually it's just bouncing off of like my co-host, So like, and then with TWG Fan Club, we talk about everybody, but it's since it's a women's wrestling brand, it's usually a more women's wrestling based show, unless we're doing like next week we're going to next week we're going to recap the summer. Week after that we're going to do TNA Appreciation Night before they became Impact Wrestling. So stuff like that, you're going to go obviously and talk about the men and stuff. But shout out to Queen PR and Krista B, the founders and CEOs of Those Wrestling Girls, just to see what they put together to show like, hey, women belong in this space, and they do an incredible job. And so it's like I start off as fans. Like I was just at work one day and they had an episode on Dana Brooke, and I was like, I like Dana Brooke. I got a chance to meet her at WrestleMania 33. I said, look, you're one of my favorites. She's like, you know what? Give me a hug. and actually,
she gets a bad rap.
She does. She does, but like we did a Dana Brooke Appreciation Night. And one thing, she has stands, and they was out, and people some of them blogged about it. And the one thing you'll learn from her too is that if you think about it, she's been in the company 10 years. Yeah. That lets you know, y'all know wrestling. You've been watching this stuff long enough. When somebody's there that long, they're dependable. Like we didn't see Curtis Axel on TV a lot, but when The Rock came back, that's who they put him in the ring with. I don't even think he wasn't Curtis Axel yet. He was still Michael McGillicuddy. Goodness gracious.
Right.
So,
you know who I feel like is beginning to fall into a category as such, like Dolph Ziggler.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, like Dolph is he's on pace to being like that person.
To be fair, I feel like
favorite right now.
To be fair, I feel like Dolph is one of those guys too, where it's like WWE knows what he can be outside
Mhm.
of them, and I feel like there might be a little bit of like, almost like if we let him go, he's blowing up somewhere else.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
he's got I think he would have left. He could have left, but he got a nice salary. And in addition to having a nice salary, he can, like you said, go elsewhere. But there they let him do his comedy stuff, and the WWE brand, like that
Yeah.
alone, right there, is worth so much money. I thought he was gonna go. Apparently Punk got into it with his brother, so I thought he was gonna
That damn Punk, man.
Listen.
go. Dolph is a shooter.
Yeah, for sure. Funny you mentioned school because believe it or not, from doing this, like I did this for a couple weeks, and I was like, this to me is interesting. So I actually started going back to school for sports marketing and media at Full Sail. I'll be completed in October, so it's like, yeah, this to me is something I try to pursue as a passion. But I'm gonna kick it back over to Akeem. He got some questions for you.
Good. That's good. If you real quick, if you remember, like, stay with it. You know what I mean? And especially like Full Sail, I've always heard like great things about it. And you'll learn like your network. People like I get to do a show literally with 3 people I grew up with. You know what I mean? And with like me and Dwayne, we literally almost have the same. Like if you put like our skill sets, if they was doing attributes, it would be almost the same, except Dwayne can design. Like he designed like this shirt, Proud Wrestler Fan, found
Nice.
on WrestlingRealm.com. And he designed like the Wrestling Realm logo. You know what I mean? I do social media stuff. And he was like, man, I'm impressed by the stuff that's coming out on our page. And that's what I learned under Brayband's team at ESPN. But I learned like, we when I was like, it's a lot of people I get to see or like in school thriving. You know what I mean? So like it's you have a great opportunity there, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
can kind of.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And one last thing, you said summer's ending. Shout out to both our boys, Bougie. Summer
Yeah.
of
Yes.
Bougie is coming to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, coming to an end. Oh,
Well, I mean, because the summer's over, but
oh
then
yeah,
we'll just
okay.
go into the winter of Bougie.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
gonna be a bougie fall, winter bougie.
I can't wait.
Shout out to Jay Bougie if you know what I mean, if he's checking in tonight.
I'm
But
about to
you
tweet him right now.
you kind of dove into the next question of mine as far as like knowing that like you're going into broadcasting journalism, and eventually, like you said, you were in school, and you started the podcast. So around that time, I suspect like this was a time where like you kind of had that idea of the boom of social media. So like what was it to where it was like, what, we can actually capitalize on this as far as like as a great marketing tool, like to indulge and continue to evolve like the social media platform of professional wrestling.
Wow, that's a great question. For me, I saw social media from a different light during my last 6 months at ESPN. So
Mm.
I was trying to get out January 2015. Like I actually, like, I can say this now, called out for work to take an interview at Morgan State. It was like my sister's birthday. It was on her birthday, so it all worked out. And I'm like, I drove in town, stayed over at my parents' house, went to the interview, then drove back to Connecticut.
Mm.
Well, yeah, drove that day, had dinner, and at that time I was working on Mike and Mike, so it was like literally leaving at 10 in the morning, getting here like 3 or 4. And after the interview, went back home. But the thing is, so my last 6 months, they put me on the social media team, and I was like, oh, so being able to see how to like really tweet, seeing it's not just tweeting, it's also analytics, making sure you have good graphics, making sure you have good videos. That helped me learn and apply that to wrestling.
Mm.
There was a brief period, well, about a year, I worked at WSU and CZW. Um, and working there, is when I like, so just the roster that we had at the time, I always like bragging about it because to see what these ladies are doing now is incredible. Um,
Yeah.
this is the Mia Yim, Britt Baker, Kiera Hogan, Mercedes Martinez. Allie was the world champion. Jordan Grace was like 4-0, like her career was just beginning, and Marty Bell, Allison Kay, like this was our roster, and I'm in the locker room. My first show going there was Athena's farewell show before she went to WWE.
Wow.
And so like I'm doing social media with them, like, hey, before y'all go out there to your match, let me get the pic. You know how WWE would do,
Yeah.
they do little pictures. I was like, we're gonna do that. And it was cool, but I really saw like the value of it, you know what I mean? And just seeing like, oh, you know what, this can really like you could utilize this. And really with like social media, like you was talking about, doing sports marketing and stuff. Like with social media, you're really doing everything. It's free. Well, now you pay more to get boosted, but it's like free marketing, free advertising. As Hangman Page gets ready to face Brian Keith, somebody who I found through social media. Shout out to Cal on that one when he was editing his piece, a piece on him. But that's the thing. Like with social media and wrestling, you really see how you really see how many people you can reach. You know what I mean? Somebody like my boy Cam Hawkins Seahawk, me and him, granted he's from Maryland, but he live in Texas, and it really just helps you. You can connect, you can find so many different people that you can bond with. And I learned that going to Wale Mania in LA this year. I'm like, wow, like seeing so many people that I've just only talked to via social media.
Speaking of Wale Mania, we got to get you up here, the Philly one. We're that's one of the events that we're talking about. We're most excited to go to.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Usually the Ringer, the last 2 years we did live podcasts. So last year in Dallas, Dave and Cass and Emilio interviewed the Street Profits. That was cool, being backstage with them before the show started. And then this year was the Bloodline. And yeah, well, mine is Roman, but like I'm literally, they're on stage, I'm on the side, and I'm taking a picture with Trinity, and I'm like, because I said, hey, real quick, what's your husband's Instagram? Because I was like, she's like, all right, so is this, and what's your brother-in-law? Is this? I said, all right, cool. And then with their mother, I said, I know you proud, like your boys out there doing their thing, so yeah, I'm interested to see how things are going to look next year. But yeah, I'll be there working, but I'll be in there.
Yeah, real quick question before Akeem goes, real quick. So you grew up a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're rubbing elbows with these guys now. You ever get starstruck or like, holy crap, like this is such and such?
That was my question.
Oh, my bad. That's why we do this show together, bro. We think alike.
Facts. The one person I'll say who so before working, the first time I met Bret Hart and Matt Hardy, I was like, since like the Ringer, not really. I think because I was on like work mode with the Usos, and they're my favorite tag team, and then I'm in the back walking, and I look at Jay, and I said, man, it's lit out there. He's like, it's lit out there, Oos, ain't it? And I'm like, and I remember Krista B was like, you get called Oos one time, and now all of a sudden you're a member of the Bloodline. I said, look, I throw up my ones. But there hasn't been the one person yet. It almost sort of happened with Cody, only because if you look at my pinned tweet, it was him and David Shoemaker. The interview immediately after he made his return and had the match with Seth Rollins. So I'm out there. We showed this on wrestling, the Best Wrestling Returns episode last week on the Wrestling Round. I'm out there and I see Cody when the music hit. I go crazy. I record the video. But now it's like, okay, they come get us. All right, we gotta go to the back. Go to the back, and we're waiting, and I'm like, all right. And Dave was like, you ready for this? I said, yeah, so I'm making sure. And when you're in production mode, you just want to make sure you're getting the audio. You don't want nothing to go wrong. And so I'm looking at the match. Then it's like, ding, ding, ding. I was like, all right, he'll be back here in any minute now. And he comes back there. It was a whole camera crew. If you look at the documentary, you'll see there's like the shot of him sitting down right after the match. But I was like, it's So nobody got me in none of the footage. I seen all those cameras while he's sitting there with Dave, and nobody got me in the footage. I didn't even see, they didn't record the one. And he's so personable, so it made it easier because like he's sitting there first. He's like, "Hi, I'm Cody," and I'm like, "I'm Brian. I know who you are." And then, he's standing there, and so the whole time he's talking to Dave, then he's looking at me, and then after he said, "So is that a camera?" I'm like, "No, this is the audio. This is the voice recorder, and that's why you had a microphone." He said, "I wasn't sure if I was supposed to look at you and him, so I was just doing both." So that was pretty cool. But it was we wasn't working together, but during the time going back to the floor, I walked past Trish Stratus, and I was like, "Wow, that was Trish." But we was again in go mode because now we're trying to rush because they didn't cancel the New Day's match and pushed it to the next night. That means I'm thinking, all right, Charlotte Ronda, I got another match before Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. And they was and the PR guys like, how soon can you get there? Because we had to record the interview, I had to mix the audio and edit it. Thankfully, it's only 10 minutes, but I had to edit it and post it. Then I forget my Pro Tools key. Thank God I had Adobe Audition on the computer too. So I had to hurry up, get it published, get it back out there. Then it was like, yeah, go.
This is all happening backstage while you're at
backstage
Mania?
At WrestleMania before the match.
Crazy.
I'm asking people, so where can I edit? Oh, just sitting in there. Then because I even asked the guy who cuts hair. He said, "Dude, I'm gonna be honest." So they got the dressing room right here, and then they got the place where they get haircut. He's like, "Honestly, I wouldn't care, but the person who I'm cutting probably not gonna like that." I'm like, "All right, say less." So luckily, I was able to just do it right there. I'm editing while he's doing his WWE documentary. So all the stuff that was on that documentary, I'm on the other side editing an interview. So
wow,
we get that done, and then we walk past, and then I get out there. Kevin Owens is in the ring. I was like, "Cool, I didn't miss Austin's entrance." And then boom, the glass break. And then it was cool because I got to stand on the floor. They was like, "Oh, you ain't gotta go." And then I found I left my jacket in the back. I go back and get my jacket. Guess whose hair he was cutting? Randy Orton's. I was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh wow, yeah. Anybody else? What you doing back here?
Yeah, you.
You don't want to get RKO'd out of nowhere too. It's like
right.
That's wild.
That's hilarious. So
definitely telling someone who, if you can't be quick on your feet, it ain't for you.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. You gotta be ready, man.
Yeah, we're talking to the producer of the Ringer Wrestling Show, co-host of Wrestling Rums, Brian H. Walters, joining Still Steps. So you have these many platforms going on. Like for Brian Walters, what is that ultimate goal? I believe everyone that's in this industry has that ultimate goal. Like, what is the ultimate goal? Is it to stay within professional wrestling, or is it to maybe venture out into another opportunity, or like what is that long-term goal?
Long-term goal, man, is just really stay in professional wrestling and just continue to grow. Would love to be like doing the WWE documentary stuff, be like one of the talking heads there, being on some of like the pre-shows and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal is just to continue to do that. I've been blessed with opportunities to write on the ringer.com. I did 2 articles. I did top 10 WrestleMania matches you may have forgotten about. I did 10 SummerSlam matches you may have forgotten about. So shout out to Cal. I pitched the idea. He said, "Yeah, go for it." So being able to have that platform and being able to write, I'm gonna steal a line from Seahawk. He said he did an interview with those wrestling girls. He said, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, and that's the thing. A lot of people you meet, you'll find that they've been putting in the work. It's just a matter of right opportunity. If it wasn't for my former manager, Cassius, I'm gonna call him out there. If it wasn't for him saying, "Hey, we're hiring, we're looking for producers in the wrestling space," then who knows what I would be doing. So I told him like I'm forever grateful. He was like, "Man, don't." He's like, it was to the point, even like one of the other people who didn't know me said, yeah, when we was doing these interviews, like you were the perfect person for this job, and it's been fun, working with like Ben Cruz, he's my manager now, but also like the co-host, like he comes from, extensive background in audio. He's done so much in the space and now, overseeing like the basketball and the wrestling side, like two of his passions. So it's been cool. That's the thing I want to do. And then also be able to like, be in a position to help other people, help other people come up and, get these opportunities because it's always rewarding, like, especially like I'm a mentor. I have about 11, 12 mentees. And
Nice.
the thing that's fun is when I see them, like one of them, shout out to Mark Webster, just got a job at ESPN, and I was like,
Nice.
man, I remember when we were literally coming up on 10 years. September 7th was when September 7th, 2013, when I took that drive to move to Connecticut. And shout out to my cousin Addis. I lived with him for 3 weeks before I had my own place, so now seeing Mark have this opportunity, I'm like, this is awesome. And then before Mark, it was another one of my mentees, Devin Ashby. And so I was like, yo, y'all, both of y'all connect, y'all help each other out, you know what I mean? Because when I got there, my friend Alex, Gibalisco is her last name now, she went up there, me and her went to Morgan together. And once she got there, everybody's like, "Oh man, Alex is there, yeah, yada yada yada." Then all of a sudden, she gets I found I had the interview, and me and Alex was like Facebook friends, maybe spoke a couple times, but I was like, "Hey, are you at work?" She was like, "I said, are you still on vacation?" Because when she would go on vacation, she's like, "I'm going on vacation. Don't ask me about trying to get a job." She would make that like her Facebook post. So I was like, "All right, well, when you come off, I'm gonna talk to you." She's like, "No, what's up?" I told her, I said, "Well, I had an interview and I got an interview coming up." And then sure enough, when I had to go up there, we met the night before. She took me out to dinner. We talked about everything. Then the next once I got up there, she made sure I was always good. And she always said, like, especially if another Morgan student come up, she would always look out for them. When my daughter was born in Connecticut. She was like there within the first 6 hours. She was like one of the first people I knew to like hold my daughter. So like, just being able to
Wow.
like give back.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Really cool. So, but yeah. So, before we go into the next topic discussion, we do have the MLW event that's coming up this upcoming Sunday, Fury Road, and you know some good friends of yours and ours now we can say is going to be on that card. And one of the members of that card is Mr. Boom, captain of the Boom Maye Fight Club,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Kane, going up against Willie Mack. So we can do some quick predictions of the card. I'll start with you, Joey, with regards to the main event, the heavyweight title match between Kane and Mack. Or I should say Mackerson, like Alex Kane said last week. Yeah, we had Alex Kane on last week, so we were talking about this upcoming match, and he was like Willie Mackerson. He don't respect
He
the
called him an
the
op.
boom. Yeah, he called him the ops too. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was
But
wild.
at this time for this match, I mean, MLW put a rocket ship on Kane's back. He's not losing after one title defense, so I'm going with Kane here.
Going Kane, gotcha. Brian, who you like between Alex Kane and Willie Mack?
Come on now. Come on. You already know. It's the Boomaye, man. Come on. Yeah, definitely. And Matt cool. Matt cool, but it's all about, Alex Kane.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go with the trifecta as well. Plus I got a little bet going on with Alex Kane because he has to do more than 10 suplexes during the match. So I told him if he don't, he definitely got to come back on. But we'll see if he end up doing it. But
If he does,
yeah,
Hakeem's
if he
got to
does.
buy him a shot after the event.
Oh yeah. I told him I said I grab you a shot. So and we'll see if he hold up to the deal though. So I'm gonna wait. Look, I'm gonna be sitting there ringside to him, like, yo, US 7.
You got to bring counters.
better pick up that pace. You going in soon? It's like, nah. But yeah, so weapons of mass destruction match. We got Jacob Fatu going up against Ricky Shane Page. I'm gonna go first on this one. I'm actually gonna go with Ricky Shane Page. You know, with all due respect, I like Jacob Fatu, but for some reason I feel like there's gonna be some swerve in this match with Page gonna pick up the victory.
Mm.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's crazy. Ricky Shane Page was a part of that roster, the CZW roster at that time. So to see his growth and see where he's at, but I don't bet against the bloodline.
So, what were the years that you were at CCW?
Like what is it, 2016, 2017?
Okay, so that was like Swerve and stuff, right?
Swerve,
Yeah.
Leo,
So were
Leo
you
and
at?
Janela. When
Yes,
it was
the ladder,
crazy to
right?
think.
The ladder
Yeah, they was
matches and stuff.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
standing not right there, but not too far when Joey Janela did the thing and he dropped down. Who else was there that I'm looking right? Oh, my boy Wesley. And funny story about Wesley. Um, I see him at Wale Mania this year, and he's still the same. Like he don't forget. Like how some people, they move on up and they forget. Like
Yeah.
like it was to a point like they had like their own like makeshift VIP on the like second floor, and so the security was like, "No, you can't go over there." And West goes, "No, no, he's cool. That's my boy." So shout out to him. But yeah, that was during that era.
Yeah, that was a wild era during CCW. I remember that it was MJF versus Joey Janela at
Mhm.
and Joey Janela threw him off the second story, and they missed the tables, and MJF cracked his
Mm.
skull off the ground. That's a sound to this day I'll never forget. Like hearing someone's head hit off of concrete like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was ugh. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Fatu here. He's MLW's bread and butter. He's been that way since he's entered their roster. Rightfully so. I'm shocked he's still at MLW because this man, he's impressive. I mean, the things he can do in the ring. I'm gonna have to go for two here.
Yeah, some folks were, set some rumors since they saw the pictures about a week or so ago, with the Usos, and everybody was like, "Oh wait, is he going to WWE?" Like, I was like, like you never know,
This would be a good way, right? Get the belt off of him and
right? That'd be really cool. So then we got an old school Brett versus Jerry Lawler kiss my foot match with always ready Matt Cardona going up against Mance Warner. See, I got a feeling, and this is just me. I don't want to be a downer. I don't think nobody's kissing anyone's foot. Like I'm being realist. Like I just don't see it happening. I got Matt's winning, but for some reason Cardona not going to abide to what the stipulation is, and then we're likely to get a debut of some sort, taking place since Saint Laurent, have somebody coming in that night. So I think it might all, go hand in hand. And Matt's win the match. Cardona doesn't, obey the stipulation, and then we get a beat down of some sort taking place.
Side note: how is Cardona fighting here? Didn't he agree to never step foot in the arena again?
Allegedly, but then it was that so-called loophole, Brian. Were you aware of that? Matt Cardona fought Bully Ray at the 2300 Arena. Actually, what it was like the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so literally,
it was a loser leaves the arena match.
Yeah, for good.
This match was literally 10 seconds. Bully Ray came out, set the table on fire, slammed Cardona through it, pinned him, and then threw him out the arena.
Wow. Literally out the front door. Next thing you know, Matt Cardona returns. What was it, like 2.5 weeks later?
Not even. It was literally the next weekend, bro.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was literally the following
weekend.
week. Like, really? So,
but this match here, I got Cardona winning his debut.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just think he wins outright. It's a debut. Cardona's been everywhere. Right now he is the focal point of indie wrestling. It seems like any big card, it's got Mark Cardona on it, and I think he wins big here. Are you?
Yes.
You're over the belt collector?
Yeah. So what else can he do? Like, we know what he want to do. It seems like they don't want him to come home, man.
I don't think he wants to come home. I think he likes the flexibility to be able to come and go from different companies as he please. Like, I don't know.
I
You
think if he
might,
went back, he wouldn't be Zack Ryder. He'd be Matt Cardona. He would be a bigger deal. You
yeah.
know, you see with Cody and Drew. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong though.
So is he a main eventer in your eyes if he goes back to
No,
no?
no. But he's a hot. He would have a chance like LA Knight,
Yeah.
and if the crowd get behind him, he could be a main eventer.
I can see that. So then we're gonna go to Tony Deppen and Kushida. This match, I'm actually go with Kushida. You know, making his MLW debut. I like him going over Tony Deppen in this match.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree also. Can we just talk about how incredible this match is going to be? Like, Tony Deppen versus Kushida is going to be absolute fire in the ring. But
this is going to be your technical high flying, you know, style of match. Like, it's going to be interesting, especially, you know, he just went through a lot at the last Impact pay-per-view event was at just last Sunday. Like, I was like, you know, hopefully, you know, he'll be 100%. So, but yeah. And then we got the St. Laurent segment. We skip over that. Then we got Becca going up against what's that, Mikey Yato? Did I get that right? Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Becca on this one. I think she's going to, you know, pick up the win. I think she's been, you know, gaining a lot of steam in MLW right now. So I'm going with Becca with the win.
Yeah, I agree. Rightfully so with Becca, though. I mean, I remember seeing her a couple weeks ago fighting Matt Tremont in a death match. Like, this chick right now is on fire in terms of like being everywhere. And I think there was like 4 weeks where I was at shows, and all 4 weeks she was there, and I was like, holy crap, this chick is literally everywhere. Like, I was at MLW, she was there. I went to AEW, she was there. Like, this chick is everywhere right now, and rightfully so, because she can go. Gimmick aside, if you're behind that pop star, I'm not really into it, but she can go in the ring.
Sorry, you just a Becca stan, Joey. It's like, duh. But yeah, Brian, who you got between Becca and Maki? Oh, going with the trifecta?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, and last one, we got Tracy Williams going up against Ichiban. My fault. But I'm gonna go with Tracy Williams. I've been liking what Tracy Williams been doing lately, so I'm going with Williams picking up the victory.
So I'm just gonna switch it up here and go Ichiban.
I'm not sure.
You really want to go Tracy Williams? You know you do. You saw what he did last time he was at the 2300 arena.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Put me down for Tracy Williams.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we got the MLW for Real event coming up this Sunday live at the 2300 Arena down South Philadelphia, and also going to be on Fight Plus. You know, little free plug there. So put us on a Fight one day. Fight. Y'all follow me too. So time stamp that. So yeah. So Brian, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're actually getting ready to bring our co-host is up to the screen. If you want to stick around, as we talk about this week in WWE, you're more than welcome.
I wish I could. But I'm definitely would love to come back, and then also, get y'all on the wrong platform though.
Oh, most definitely. We'll love to get on.
We can definitely have a wrestling round party. That's what we do when we bring on guests. We call it the Wrestling Round Now party. So.
Nice. No, that's love. But Brian, we greatly appreciate you jumping on the Still Steps today. Feel free, plug away. Anything you got coming up in the near future?
Yeah. So check me out at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms. TikTok, Twitter, Thread. I'm deleting Spill. I had it. It was hot for 30 seconds.
Is that the one where you needed like someone to add you or something?
Yeah. That's how these. Remember when Clubhouse used to do that? People were selling invites too.
People still on Clubhouse.
They actually are. I saw somebody's phone,
wow,
and it was like a bunch of people. I was like, hey, it was Nikki Bushi. because
Okay.
that's where I met during the pandemic. Shout out to Justin from the Wrestling Classic. He had kind of brought this community. Well, actually, Justin T. Manning brought the wrestling community, and Justin from Wrestling Classic, he was there, and you seeing all these people, and that's where I met Nikki Bushi and a lot of other people, and like we was talking about like Wale Mania and stuff, just bring all these people together. But yeah, every Wednesday, check me out, Wrestling Realm Now podcast, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. TWG Fan Club at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, live on exclusively Those Wrestling Girls Twitch, where Wrestling Realm is live on Twitch and YouTube and available the next day on all podcast platforms, because I put it out as soon as we hit end. I drop it on the podcast platform. So I wake up. People need their pods, man. That's what one thing I learned is people need their pods. But yeah, definitely every Monday I produce the Masked Man Show with David Shoemaker and Kaz, and then on Wednesdays at early in the afternoon, catch me on Wednesday Worldwide with Cal and Ben.
Awesome. Greatly appreciate you jumping on, Brian. Huge
Thank
you. Absolutely. And as always, to those who are guests on the Still Steps, you become family to us. So
I appreciate it.
Whatever you need, if you need to hop on here to get get your ish off, hey, you're more than welcome. Still Steps is here for you.
I know we ain't got any sponsors yet, so you're fair game here to say whatever you may please.
I'll definitely know we'll definitely link up next year at Wally Mania, but I think no, that's not. I was actually trying to figure a way, but it's not going to be able to happen to get up to Philly this weekend because I wanted to see Bougie take care of business. But I'm pretty sure we'll cross paths sooner than Wally Mania.
The only reason we didn't mention that match is just because you never know when they're going to air it. You know what I mean? They're still airing stuff from 3 months ago from the arena that's airing now, so you just don't ever know when they're going to actually put it on the TV.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like a pre-show match or what.
So it's a fusion taping for their fusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tape like 3 months in advance, so you don't know when they're going to air that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be on at WrestleMania. It's like, nah. I joke, MLW. I joke. They're gonna call me at the door Sunday. We heard that joke. No medium scrum for you. Like,
oh man.
But Brian, man, it's been an absolute
again.
pleasure, and we look forward to talking to you very soon, man.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all.
Greatly appreciate it, bro. Have a good one, man. Absolutely. All right, that was Brian H. Waters from the Ringer Wrestling. So we're going to take a quick break on the ad. We're going to bring our co-hosts up, Pat from Mambler, Mr. Moyo Fit, Chris Wilson, and we will be right back.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
Hey guys, real quick update. As soon as we're done our show here, directly on all the same platforms, Mike will be doing the Phillies final, talking about a hard, close loss tonight. Looked like they had it there for a second, but he'll be talking about the Phillies finals tonight after us.
Absolutely. Fighting final coming up next on Edge of Philly Sports. So joining us now on the Still Steps, we have Pat from Mambler, Mr. Moyo Fit, Chris Wilson. What is good, my brothers? How's everybody doing this evening?
What's going on, fellas? What's happening? And listen, Mike's going to get it covered. Finally, I get a little separation from that guy. Finally, Oh, I have to deal with him on Sundays. It's like dealing with a toothache. Jesus.
Tell us how you really feel, Pat.
Whoa, Pat, that's not a shoot, people.
Jesus, I was just gonna say I feel fine.
I mean, I'm about to say, you know, we got a good guy in the green room right now. He could come up and rebuttal you if you want.
Hey, listen,
Let's pull it. Let's pull it. Pull him in.
I mean, it's up to him. He thumbs up.
No.
I
don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear him.
Pull him in.
He good?
Oh God! What are you doing here? I don't have to see you until Sunday. What are you doing here?
Obviously, some of us at EOP do some work around here. We don't just stick meat down our throats like you.
Hey, you don't worry where I put things, okay? I like to chew on things. All right?
You see me, right? I'm here in the studio. I was listening backstage. I was going back and forth between you guys, the Phillies game, which is entertaining, and guys, I'll be covering that coming up. But I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about wrestling, because of course I am almost a former wrestler. I'm on my way out. My bump card is almost filled.
I can finish the deal for you too. You know what I mean? I can finish it.
Bro, you ain't been in the ring in like 5 years. You'd pull a hamstring walking the aisle.
Pull a hamstring walking to work. But
Probably. But continued success what you guys are doing, man. Really, really good show. Pat, we're going to be talking. I told you I got a Rolodex, man. Help some of these guys out. But
all right. Well, look, roll your way out the door. Beat it.
Got you. No, Mike.
A hot dog to go throw down your throat. Have a good
Appreciate it, Mike. That was Mike jumping in real quick. You can find him on. No, that was me. I hit the button. I think we all did. Yeah. But yeah, you can catch Mike following the still steps on EOP Sports. He's going to be discussing the Philadelphia Phillies unfortunate loss this evening to the Milwaukee
Yeah, we were
Brewers.
doing the interview and we were up, and the next thing I know, it says 3-run score on a throwing error. The Phillies lose. I'm like,
Alec Baum pooped the bed tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe he needs another "I hate this place" moment, but that's for another.
Oh Lord, no, we already went through that. You know what I mean? So we don't need any more. Having to try to figure out what they need to do. So gentlemen, we definitely got a lot to discuss.
Let's jump right in.
Yeah,
getting right into the payback predictions.
Let's go. We got 2 pay-per-views to predict. We got a lot to talk about, and we don't want to keep Mike at the studio all night because he can't go on till we're done.
That's a fact.
That's all right. There's a bed there.
Definitely. So we have the WWE Payback event coming up this Saturday. It's going to be taking place in Pittsburgh.
Don't you disrespect the home of Kurt Angle.
Our little stepsisters.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's our
Good call, Joey.
Our second best city of Pennsylvania, because we all know Philadelphia is number 1. It's like, let me stop respectfully. Shout out to anyone that's watching in the Pittsburgh area. Love is love. We just have a little fun here. But so we got the WWE Payback event coming up this Saturday.
Unless you're a Penguins fan, and then we're not okay.
Allentown's the second best town in PA.
Oh boy.
Look, you can. Allentown's got WXW. You know what I'm saying?
You can find them at Pat from Ambler at any of your respective social media platforms. It's like So
this is a small card. I mean, this is
a very small.
We had a marathon last weekend. This is like
there's only 5 matches. I mean, the other one is
a
promo.
That'll turn into a match though.
This is a B one of their B pay-per-view, so they're just gonna. It's almost like.
But why? I mean, you have a match happening on Monday night that could have been on this card instead of this stupid promo.
Because they have a contract with streaming platforms, so they have to.
Yeah, but we don't like that guy, so we're okay with the being.
Wait, what's that? Whoa, wait.
Hey, listen. Let's be mindful of the words, because that could be our future employers one day. But anyway,
listen. I was a huge fan until someone shoved them down their throat.
Yeah, that might have got us all out on that one. Hey, y'all remember that episode of Still Steps? The guy said the following.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat it, but yeah, I do agree. It definitely is a small card. Honestly, is it really warranted? Like I feel like this is something that could be done in like maybe in another month or so. Shoot, if honestly, I wouldn't even be bothered if WWE didn't do another pay-per-view until Survivor Series. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
there's
like
only like legit
Yeah.
3 matches that actually had a legitimate build. I mean, like the Mysterio Theory match was again kind of like
That's a Sunday Night Heat match.
how did we get here type of thing. You know what I mean? Like we did that whole tournament, and that's another episode. If you can check us out, I think it was 3 weeks ago where we kind of threw a fit about it. But
yeah,
Becky and Trish have been feuding for
This seems like it's been forever.
7 months now. You know, like
Jesus.
SummerSlam last year, it feels like.
Since Backlash.
oh
Yeah.
my stars. Listen,
I mean, but even before that, they were still kind of like in a storyline because they were together.
yeah.
Right.
And then so it was before Mania because wasn't there a match at Mania?
No,
The tag
no.
match?
No, I
It
think
is
it got.
one
I think it
match.
got scratched.
It got
That's what I'm
scrapped
saying.
on Mania. It got scrapped on
So, but I'm
SummerSlam.
saying the storyline was before Mania.
Yeah,
Right.
Like that's how long this has been going.
yeah,
Yeah.
too long.
Listen, at this point, it's like enough is enough. Like even this past Monday night when it came up that it was going to be Becky and Zoe Starks, I'm like, really again? Like, come on now, like. It's just over. Just move on. Move on to the next
we're
storyline,
all
please.
for long booking, but maybe
It
not
depends
this.
on who's in the long term story.
Exactly,
storyline.
exactly.
Uh,
And then
know.
obviously the Miz and LA Knight. I mean, regardless of why they're feuding, these two guys when they get the mic, you're gonna listen.
Right. All right, gentlemen. So let's
Break it
let's
down.
get to the prediction. So let's
You wanna
start
from
from
the bottom top.
Say no. I got you.
You want to start main event?
No, we're not gonna start main event. We can start. We
Okay.
can start from the bottom. Well, we already know that the Waller effect is supposed to be a quote unquote little segment between both Grayson and Cody Rhodes. One other caveat: they did announce tonight that special host for tomorrow night's Payback will be one John Cena. So somehow he's going to be in the mix at tomorrow's pay-per-view event as well. So
he's gonna
he's gonna
AA
enter-
somebody.
Yeah.
that's
Probably
that's,
Waller.
yeah, that's highly likely.
Yeah.
for sure.
After
So,
a little spiel they had at what was it, Money in the Bank?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But let's go to I feel like it's the main event of the event. LA Knight versus The Miz. So I'm gonna yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the two of the best guys on the mic right now in the company going toe to toe.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna go with LA Knight getting the victory, but I will say I don't think Miz is gonna go away, after the loss. But I do got LA Knight picking up the victory. Maybe Miz probably pulling off some sort of, hit from behind after the match. Beat down, beat LA Knight down, and still walk out as if like he won the match. But I got LA Knight picking up the win. Chris, I'm gonna go to you. Who do you have?
I definitely got LA Knight for this one. So like I don't know what the blow off will be after this match. If Miz is going to go away or they're going to keep it going for a little while, because these two have great chemistry. Because they some of the best promos out right there. They get guys like we don't got to see them wrestle. You just put them on the microphone for 5 to 10 minutes, and it's just always something entertaining. So, but LA Knight should win this one because at this point Miz doesn't need anything else. He just puts people over. That's like his role now in WWE, and you can tell he's fine with that. But it would but like I said, going into like what happens after this, I want to see what they do with LA Knight continuing forward. They might continue more with the Miz, because usually these days WWE just doesn't do a one match and that's it. It is always turns into like a 3-month program. Even if it's not written well, it just always turns into more stuff. So
Right.
LA Knight for the win, probably continues on, but he should definitely take the W.
Joey.
To me, this just screams something has to happen that's like unexpected because to me, it's like an open and shut case. LA Knight goes over here, and there's not a second thought. And like WWE doesn't do that. They always kind of do something that makes you scratch your head, and it's like, did that really just happen? Type of thing. So I feel like this is one of those matches where, whether it's a return or a debut or someone gets called up to help the Miz, something has to happen here, because this match again is just too open and shut. Like, LA Knight should go over, and there's no second thought about it. For that, I think the Miz wins a screwy way. Someone debuts. Maybe we get Ciampa coming back and aligns with the Miz again. Something like that has to happen, just because, again, it just doesn't make much sense other way.
Interesting. Pat.
First of all, how did this match ever come about? I mean, they're supposed to be on two separate brands. Was there a contract signed, or they just said, "Here, you two we're going to work each other"? Was there ever like a contract to this match? I mean, aren't they on two different brands?
WWE does not follow the draft. I don't know.
They don't follow the
I don't know why it hasn't followed it in the past 5 years. Or whatever.
But no, I mean, just to break down the match itself. I mean, to me, the two most talented guys on the mic right now for the WWE, they're going to go back and forth. I think though what's that
for the WWE?
Why?
Because we know who the most talented on the mic is in the entire wrestling industry.
Oh my God, we're not talking about that right now, Joey.
Yes, because we're going to have that debate there. We are going to have that massive debate. But listen, to me, between these two, I'm going to say I think the Miz is going to go over, and this is why, because Miz needs to go. He's like Chris has been saying, he's been putting guys over left and right, but he needs to go over, and I think with LA Knight. Yeah, putting himself over, and then they can carry out this feud maybe to the next pay-per-view. Then he can go over. So I think it's going to carry over.
Gotcha. Yes, he did.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
not going to repeat
Yes, I
that.
did. We're going to master debate this. I am a master debater.
Pass. Next up,
This is the type of stuff that gets us flagged, guys. This is the type of stuff.
the send. I call it the send off match between Becky Lynch going up against Trish Stratus. I got Becky. I think she's going to finally get the revenge that she's been seeking for like the last 6 months. So Becky Lynch for the win. Lock.
Shout out to Becky for that tribute at the end of Raw.
Who you got between Becky and Trish?
I got Becky when I think Leah's going to interfere. This is the time to bring in Lita, because Lita got knocked out 6 months back, and they never found out who did it. It was probably Trish, and she's going to come out and to gun for Trish. When Trish has her help come down, this is where Lita comes out, evens the score, boom, Becky wins. And then they wind up having a tag team match down the road.
Stop it.
They better not.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm boycotting myself.
Yeah. I think Trish came out and said that she was the one who jumped Lita way back when. I think she admitted that. People just haven't been paying attention because nobody cares about this anymore.
Yes. I can see those two having a Legends match or something.
Yeah, nobody absolutely cares about this rivalry anymore. Like,
yes.
I get Trish all the credit in the world. She's been doing well in the matches, way better than I thought she was going to do. She's actually been holding her own, so I give her the credit for that. So she just looked good. She does very well in the ring still. So shout out to you, Trish. But please, God, Becky win so this can be done and over with. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel bad for Trish a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she's a legend, and now she gets like no pop because this booking. It's just stale, kind of running in place type of thing. Where it's like, you want us to care about this, and then you scrap their match at SummerSlam. Like, you want us to care about this, but yet on Raw the next night, it was a bullcrap match. Like, you want us to care about this, but then you're not giving us them fighting each other. Like show us that this match matters. And I guess the cage is a way to show that, but
it's going to be the payoff.
Yeah, unfortunately, the payoff's going to be Becky winning, and then that's going to be it. But there's no stipulation for this. A feud this long, like, whether it's the winner that gets a title shot or the loser of this can't be in the show anymore. Something like there has to be a stipulation for a match for a feud that's gone this long. And for me, there's just nothing. And it's like, that's why I don't care about it. It's just like you're feuding at this point for what? I forgot why at this point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like does it even allow her to even sniff a potential title run? Like with so much going on,
Yeah.
actually, it ain't really much going on in the women's division. Like, is this going to lead to to that opportunity? Like we'll see.
Yeah, this is the
Probably.
first pay-per-view since Io's won the belt.
Yeah.
I guess this is a huge miss here where Io is not defending a belt on the first pay-per-view after.
And I want to agree with you too, Joe, because what 6-7 months they've been having Trish heel, and nobody cares.
Nope.
Nobody cares. They preferred Trish being the old time legendary face. No one.
Yeah, nobody wants to boo her.
Nobody.
But unfortunately, because they've done
Get
this,
over-
no one wants to cheer her either now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the sad part. That's why I feel bad for her.
Right. That's just like to me, and I know it's kind of like a different, going down a different path, but like to me, the worst thing that ever happened to Sami Zayn was winning those tag titles. It was the worst thing. But at least that's a total different, topic.
At least they still get cheers.
I mean, technically, it's not necessarily the worst thing for them. It's on principle that WWE doesn't have any
I think
viable
there's a match
tag
missing here,
team,
guys.
Right.
tag teams.
Is there a match
with
missing?
the fighter?
There is a match missing, isn't? Aren't they?
Oh yeah,
defending
the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day
Yeah,
versus
Judgment
Sammy
Day.
and Kevin.
Yeah, that's not pictured.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll
since
talk
we're
about
talking about, let's talk about it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's debate about that now.
Please,
so-
please, enough about that match.
I got KO and Sammy winning. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I got
See,
chaos. I got
no.
chaos. Sammy winning.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the whole thing here, and say that WWE tries to go like full throttle with Judgment Day, and something happens here, and I don't know. I think Judgment Day wins by a DQ.
See, I was trying to hold off on what Joe Haller was chiming in and saying, because he initially asked if we thought Priest cashes in, at the end of the pay-per-view, but he also says that Sammy and KO win easily with JD screwing Damian Priest. Like, I can see something like that actually happening.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
but I was actually thinking more so of Finn screwing Priest with the help of JD to where they don't win the tag titles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they win by DQ, they don't win the tag titles.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and for me, I'm with Joe. I think the Judgment Day win the tag straps here because again, those
wait, that
tag
match
team
is a tag match.
What?
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
He said it's a cage
a-
match. I thought I
No,
heard like it's like a Pittsburgh street.
No,
fight.
it's a street fight. It's a they're calling it a Steel City street fight.
I'm about to say still
tag.
street fight. What?
Yeah.
We
Whoa,
ain't sponsor that.
Hold on, they got the wrong
Somebody-
city in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Did you hear the error tonight? They're like they said something on the
Commentary like it was like when Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley were like we're meeting like
they're gonna meet out right here in the Steel City. I'm like, bro,
this is Hershey
the Steel City's
next night.
Yeah. Like too soon.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
then forget what I
That's
said
the
about
city of
forget what
chocolate.
I said about DQ because it's a Steel City street fight. I've never heard of that before, but
It's always like that. Whatever city they're in, it's their
Yeah.
town street
Yeah.
fight. It'll be a Philadelphia street fight, a broad street fight. Yeah, so
Right.
that fits though because the Broad Street Bullies and the fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But
They do that. There would be a Chicago street fight, a Detroit street fight.
yeah,
But when they go to Texas, a Texas tornado match.
Texas
Yes,
tornado,
yes, yes.
Or
Texas tornado match.
Texas death match.
Texas death
Yeah.
match. Yes,
Tex-
yes.
or a Texas chainsaw death match.
Right.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that freaking match, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sorry, so-
Crazy.
So, all right. So, what was the?
But
pick?
I'm pulling my pick back because I didn't realize it was a
Yeah.
no holds barred type match. Sammy and KO win here, and I think they like the comment said. I think they get screwed somehow. I would love to see Judgment Day win for a simple fact that we get KO and Sammy back in like an actual singles type of run, maybe because these two guys are too big of a stars. At this point, I feel like the tag titles are like anchors dragging them down.
Yes,
like,
that's
yeah.
why. That's why, to me, I feel like the Judgment Day is going to go over because those belts have been nothing all summer, nothing. So I feel like they're going to put this and to help to stabilize the Judgment Day, right? Because they've been on shaky ground as of late. So if we could get them on the same page here, win the tag straps, and just to make sure, it's like a false hope. Like, oh, I can see these two, I can see the tag team or I can see the stable finally coming break up after, especially here, Rhea Ripley in the promo the other night on Raw. She's saying, listen, if we don't win here, then we're gonna have a major issue. So you guys have to win the tag titles. So it's win the tag titles or bust here. So I definitely think the Judgment Day walk out the tag straps.
You know what? For some cynical reason, I kind of want to change my pick to Judgment Day.
Come on over.
Hakeem, let me ask you, Hakeem, before you switch your pick, is it that's who you want to win, or from a booking standpoint, that's who you think's gonna win?
But see, that's the thing. From a booking standpoint, I can see where they can tease us with Judgment Day, living a high life, but then all of a sudden Finn, it's that very moment. But see, the problem is the dilemma with this is that they're still revamping the tag team division. So if they were to get the titles, they'll likely hold on to these titles for some time unless they're prepared to put the titles on the Street Profits as very soon. Which I can see they're working on it with after tonight's SmackDown. But no, you know what? I'm sticking with KO, Sammy. That I'm locking it in.
The only reason why I don't think that the Judgment Day win the belt is just because then it kind of like tips their hand that maybe Damien's cash in fails whenever it does, because
that's what I was thinking too.
Damien's not the type of person you're going to see as double champ.
Right.
No.
But also that's a waste of the briefcase.
Yeah. That's why I think they won't win it. Just because double champ Damien doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. So yeah, so I'm going with KO and Sammy. Chris, you said KO and Sammy. Joe, you said KO and Sammy as well. Pat
said definitely.
I'm on an island by myself in the nude, picking Judgment Day.
Why do you always take it there, bro?
Yeah, I was about to make a bet till you went to the island of the nude.
Like we're talking about 4 grown men fighting in little or no clothes. You're talking about being naked on an island.
Yeah, every time you do that, we're muting your microphone for 30 seconds.
Exactly.
This is why Pat was on timeout for 2 weeks.
Sit in the corner, bro.
Put him back in the bullpen.
Put him back in the bathroom.
Speaking of which, side note, fighting final immediately after Steel Steps tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, but
what's next?
Next match we got Austin Theory going up against Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. I actually think Theory's going to regain the U.S. title. Somehow, I think we're going to have a situation with the both Ray and Escobar, possibly button heads, and where he may end up losing the title. And I think this might be the turn of the possible heel turn, in the near future. So
I didn't even think about that, bro. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So Theory with the win, recapturing the United States title.
See, I'm gonna go with you. I thought Ray wins this easily, but I like that. I like if we get what were they called in NXT?
I forgot.
You know what I'm talking about? I feel like they work better as heels.
Yeah.
Like let's get them back on heels. But that'd be great if we can get Escobar back as a heel, and
Joe House says if Theory wins, does Cena get a rematch? Hey, look, it's possible.
We got 2 months of them, right?
Yeah, look, he got nothing but time on his hand.
It ain't a coincidence, right? That he's coming back for 2 months in the middle of a writer's strike, right?
Look, he's smart.
That's exactly why he's back.
But look, I get a check somewhere.
Get his money. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Wait, before we went on the air, I was saying this to Keem. You tell me what you guys think. If Theory wins against Ray relatively easy, right? You get the Waller effect taking place, and Waller starts beating down Cody Cena comes out to make the save. Theory comes out, and we get a tag match. And then Cena does the ultimate Hogan turn and drops a 5-knuckle shuffle on Cody in the middle of the match. Boom, you got the next major storyline. Heel Cena versus face Cody.
You love to keep Cody
About
Rhodes
to,
away
about,
from
to,
that belt.
about to say, Joey, I love your mindset. That is never going to freaking happen.
But that would be like one of the biggest
I
storylines ever.
I do smell a Cena and Cody match coming on.
Maybe
about to say that's cool. That's cool as hell. I would love to see that finally. The infamous never like forbidden door for Cena turning heel. It's never going to happen. Not at this
Cena
point.
at Mania?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. So that way Cody does not fight Roman.
Oh God, it's not happening, guys. I'm sorry. Like, just get over it.
Well, this match is happening. It might not be heel Cena, but it's gonna happen.
Well, Cody and Cena will happen, yes, but it's not
Yeah.
happening. It's not happening at Mania.
Oh no, because Cena doesn't want to stick around for that long.
Yeah, no.
It'll be a hell show.
Rider Strike would definitely be over by then.
Rider Strike be over by then.
I don't know. You hear some of those producers, bro?
Yeah, I know. But
they're willing to let this go until their families are starving for food.
Wow.
Yeah, they tripping.
That's heartless.
They tripping. That's it.
All right. Let's not go too off the rails, but
but whatever. Yeah. So anyway,
so Mysterio Theory. I got Theory.
I'm gonna go with Theory too.
Okay, Joey, who'd you have?
I like your idea. I'm gonna go with Theory just for your idea.
Now it ain't gonna happen. It's like no. Pat, who you got? The Mysterio Theory. Papa Ray.
Papa Ray.
Okay. Gotcha. So next match, we got the women's title match with Rhea Ripley defending the title against Raquel Rodriguez. And I am definitely going, man.
You didn't even got to talk.
You ain't got to
talk.
Look at the roses. Look at the blushing.
But don't you think that Raquel would work better as a heel?
Yes, without question.
I'm hoping this is maybe her heel turn.
It's not. It's a great
Wait, I ain't get my prediction.
We don't need it.
Let's go to the main event. We know where everyone's going with this. Seth Rollins versus
Rhea. I just want you to know.
No.
Politic and Hot says you're going to win this match at Payback. You're going to win. I know you're going to win because I believe in you.
Quick analysis.
Shout out to you.
There's something on your chin, bro. I think it's a little bit of drool.
Quick analysis. We all can do a quick analysis. Honestly, I don't think she's gonna win the way we think she's gonna win. I think she's gonna win by actually doing some type of cheat thing to where it keeps the feud going a little bit. Because Raquel's a legit threat against Rhea. She's just as big. She's just as strong. She's just as mean. So it's like you can't just beat her easily like you've been beating these other girls. Then that's it. The feud's over. They gotta let this prolong, especially when to build Raquel, because you want to start really building her.
Yeah,
like the right way. So if you want to do that, you got to make this match like a Charlotte Rhea match, where it's hard hitting. They're going at each other. It might be some little botches to where they really like well off on each other. It got to be that type of match to really give some credit to Raquel, and then Rhea wins in some honestly almost a cheating, screwy way, to where it gives Raquel ammunition to challenge her again and keep the feud going. Because like these two girls need more than just one match.
Yeah, I agree.
Put your feet on the ropes.
Yeah.
Dom gets involved.
What?
As much as I love my guy.
Can you say that again in a normal voice? Because you said it like a sweet nothing voice. Hey, Maria, put your feet on the ropes.
Put your feet on the ropes, Rhea.
Didn't they have? Weren't these two?
Put your feet on my ropes.
This was Rhea's last feud before she came to the main roster, right?
One of her last feuds, yeah.
Yeah, and there was great matches. Wasn't Bianca in the match too?
She was in the mix.
Yeah.
They got decent chemistry, and I think the chemistry would be good because they're actually like legit friends. So it's like, but I want that to have like bring that energy from there up to the main roster, but dial it up a notch, like because Rhea is a superstar. It's time to make Raquel a star. Like she's not even a star yet. Like she's cool, But if you want her to be a star, like people take her seriously and start getting those crowd pops, those big crowd pops, this is the match to start it. You know, so
Yeah, this
I'll
is
be
the
honest.
one.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with Chris. Like this would be the match that would like launch pad Raquel to that next level, being able to show that you can contend with, the likes of Rhea, which could potentially lead to maybe like, battling a Bianca or a Charlotte or a Becky sometime down the road. However, Rhea Ripley is
Yeah,
like one
Ripley
of the
got it.
best women's champions right now. So
Yeah,
like
I
right now
agree with Paul.
they're
On paper, though,
they're
this
creating
is-
they're creating a legacy right now for Rhea, and
On
unfortunately Raquel is in the mix to get
Yeah,
stopped.
on
paper,
this is her toughest challenge because someone who can match her as far as physicality, muscle tone, and all that stuff.
And they're
Raquel
good
brings-
friends.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see these two girls lock horns. To me, it's maybe my second favorite match on the card to watch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And who you got to win?
I got Rhea though. I think
Okay.
I think Dom gets involved to extend the rivalry.
It's my guy, but we don't need him involved in this match.
I think Rhea wins.
To put him over some more as a bigger heel, put some icing on that cake. Sure.
I mean,
Gotcha.
I'm with it. I'm just saying he don't need to be involved.
All right, Maney. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I got Rhea winning here too, but I agree with all you guys that in terms of like opponents, this is like one of the few women's wrestlers in WWE that can like match her size, her intensity. I feel like this will be like one of those matches where we can truly see Rhea shine because like she can like fully do things without having to worry about hurt the women she's in the ring with. We always hear about wanting her to fight men now because like she's kind of beyond even the women's division now. But I feel like Raquel is one of those few women that can actually match her in intensity and strength.
Yeah. Rhea is definitely this generation's China, so she's on that she's on that status of I could beat up all the girls, but I could beat up some of the boys too. So let's get it. So I love the direction. I love everything about Rhea. She's just firing all cylinders. But like I said, because of that, use that superstar status and let Raquel rub off on that and build some new stars, man. Can't just be always just the same four girls. Like build some more stars.
Oh, I'm glad Charlotte's on the mix.
For sure. But let's jump to the main event real fast before we move on to the next topic.
I think that's a one-sided conclusion there.
Oh, Shinsuke, right?
No.
I'm joking.
See, originally when Shinsuke attacked him, I was like, okay, Seth wins easily. But this heel Shinsuke in the past 3 weeks that we've gotten, I'm becoming invested in this guy. I'm becoming like, this Shinsuke is showing me this is the New Japan Shinsuke. This is the Shinsuke.
Why is this happening though? Like, did he ever say why he did it? Like, I forget. Like
the whisper.
They did the whisper thing, but what did he say? That
obviously, I don't know honestly because
like,
we're doing.
Basically, he told him he know he has a bad back. Like that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because Seth actually talked about that for real. I think yesterday about his back. Like, there's days where he legitimately can't get up and play with his kid because he has 2 fractures in the lower part of his vertebrae.
Ooh,
like legit. But
it's like Matt Hardy.
Yeah, this heel Shinsuke is impressive. And I don't know about you guys, but I love that they're finally letting Shinsuke be Shinsuke and just not try to speak his broken English, letting him speak and then just putting the subtitles over top. You know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, it worked like hell for Asuka, so I don't see why they didn't do it for Shinsuke. Asuka did it, especially during the pandemic, and she was one of the most over things on Raw, and she never spoke English. She was like, it was so entertaining, just her speaking her native tongue. And
the only thing is, Chris, I don't know how you feel about this, but I wish we wouldn't use it with just heels, because sometimes it comes off like to me it feels like WWE almost like, oh, well, this guy doesn't speak English, so let him speak his language and it'll be even more over as a heel type of thing. Like just because you don't speak English doesn't mean you're a heel. And I wish WWE would get out of that that mindset.
Well, what's name does it quite often, but it probably just goes so unnoticed because it's just he's such a good person. He's just like, oh, cool. Rey Mysterio does it all the time. He always throws in Spanish, and he's like, but people just
And
that whole translate to English.
they just don't pay no mind at all. What's his name? But
but I almost feel like they're doing this with him because he's a heel.
Yeah,
which I'm cool with now. But
honestly, too, because the dialect of the language, like that Japanese tone, it's so aggressive.
But my point is, like, you don't just because you're a heel, just because you speak non-English, doesn't mean you're a heel. You know what I mean? Like going forward, I wish we could see some faces do it too. Like, don't put a what's that say? Don't force a square peg into a circle block or something like that. But
circle hole, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like WWE ultimately, like, they'll get like a big international superstar and they'll try to make him learn English, and like it fails, and then the wrestler fails.
They were the trend on that one real fast. If they make him this big top heel, then they turn him into a comedy gimmick, and then they're out the door. Seeing it all the time.
Which I find so weird though. Like I don't know why they do that. Rusev, when he speaks English, is the funniest thing in the world because he's so damn charismatic. It's like, okay, this guy gets it. But WWE, especially the old guy who run the place for so long, that's the way he lives in the 70s and 80s.
It's not World War II anymore.
Yeah. If you're foreign, if you speak a different language, not even foreign, you can be born and raised in the United States, but if you speak a different language, oh yeah, you're a heel.
like Lana, because she spoke with a Russian accent, she's heel automatically. You know what I mean?
But she shouldn't even have an accent though.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like let's throw a Russian accent on her, and she'll be a heel.
Yeah, but know that's the workings of one Mr. VKM.
Yeah.
So
I call him the crazy old guy.
Right, and that's what that is. But one quick hot take though. Mero's current character right now would be a hit in WWE.
Yeah.
If they allowed it to be that way.
For their cards, right?
Yeah.
But are we all in agreement that Seth is going to win this match?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That definitely see it. Joe chimed in. He said it's going to be match of the night. I don't know about match of the night though, Joe. I mean, it does have the possibility to be it. It just might. You know,
Joe,
I'm not going to knock it.
No matter what other matches on the card, Rhea is fighting on the card, so Hakeem's never going to say another match is able to have match of the night.
No.
Hey man, listen.
I feel him. If Bianca was fighting, I would say it's the same thing. I would say the same thing.
Listen, Rhea, one of the best participants on this card Saturday evening. It's like, no, let me stop.
No, you're not lying. I'm not lying there.
I know, but no, Seth and Shinsuke. It's definitely gonna be a good match. Although I think Rey and Theory might be the match of the night. That may surprise a lot of folks. So, but yeah. So all right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna run into AEW All Out. Talk about some of the few standout matches on that card, and we will be right back momentarily. So as we get to go to the break.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
All right, we are back. Still Steps joining you live on Edge of Philly Sports. Next up on the rundown, we have AEW All Out Predictions, which is taking place this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live in Chicago, Illinois. One of the biggest match on the card is going to be the AEW International Championship match, and we got John Moxley going up against one Orange Cassidy, Mr. Freshly Squeezed. Mr. Always defying the odds, and he's getting ready to hit a brick wall. Finally, it's like no.
Wait, before we jump into this match, he cut that promo on Wednesday saying, "I don't have a catchphrase,"
Right.
and then put out his shirt that says, "I don't have a catchphrase." But your name is literally Freshly Squeezed. That's your catchphrase. It's a huge violation.
That's
maybe he's not aware.
That's his nickname. It's not a catchphrase.
Maybe he's not aware and not reaping the benefits of that catchphrrise.
Yeah,
it's good.
Like when he said that, I was like, dude, you literally say Freshly Squeezed.
He's probably like, look, that's what they call me. It's not a slogan.
What if I'd have known he was like, wait, they've been talking about me?
Yeah. It's like this whole time.
Yeah. No, but as far as winner of this match, I think Moxley is going to win. I think Orange Cassidy, he's been carrying that AEW International Championship for a while, and he's been, definitely has been doing his just due with the title. I'll be honest, I lost count.
How long?
It has to be over a year at this point.
Wasn't he
right?
the inaugural champion?
No,
it wasn't. Yeah, Pac was.
Because Pac. Didn't somebody have it before Pac?
Nah, I think Pac had it first.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote us on that, but somebody out there in the viewership.
I thought Pac won it from somebody.
Pac was the first champion.
Yeah,
and then Cassidy has been champion since October 12th of 2022.
Wow. Oh wow. Then again, I don't know. Do they allow him to hold it for an entire year? I'm sticking with Moxley. That's what I got. Moxley with the win.
So I think Moxley wins too, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if Cassidy won. It seems like they're putting a lot of marbles in the Cassidy basket here. We're getting them talking now on the mic and stuff. That to me swayed my selection a little bit, was him cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, because it felt like his character was evolving a little bit past just the kind of goofy kicks and stuff, and I don't know if they would have had that had he been in line to drop the belt on Sunday night.
Right.
It feels like he's evolving a little bit, like past just that, and then I don't know. That's just my thought, but I'm going with Moxley, but I don't know. I just feel like it could be Cassidy here, but the right move I think is Moxley.
Got you, Pat. Who you got in between Cassidy and Moxley?
This is a tough one. This is actually a tough one because Cassidy's been carrying the belt for so long, but this is one of the top contenders, and I think Moxley might have to have that belt change hands. But Cassidy has been doing a fine job. He's talking about someone you can't get bored of. It's always must-watch TV as a face, but being this champion, he's that guy. And you see little Joey. He's a big fan of the kid. But he's doing a fine job. But I think tonight, I think Sunday is where he drops the belt.
Got you, Chris. Your thoughts?
My prediction is on this, but me, it's predictions and thoughts. So it's named. So my prediction is Moxley, but who I think should win is Orange Cassidy.
Yep.
Once again, like I said, this is about making stars. His name Moxley has been your MVP for so long in AEW since it started. Like, what better way of building? Even and don't get me wrong, Orange Cassidy's been doing this for a minute. He's been one of the kings of the independent scene for a while. But like, if you really want to put that guy who the fans are they're all on the Cassidy train. If you want to take this guy to the next level and the guy that breakout big top baby face that isn't, even though MJF is kind of a heel, he's like one of your top baby faces now. Like this, Cole and all them guys, like Darby, like Orange Cassidy is that to me. He's there. If he was to beat Moxley, that will put him in the top three of your top three baby faces in that company. But like, once again, I think that's what should happen. But what I think is going to happen, I think Moxley is just going to be Moxley and just be like, F this, I'm taking this guy. All the injuries that they plague in the stories leading up to it, it's going to come in effect. Moxley's going to take advantage, and we're going to crown a new champion, which not a bad guy to be the champion because Moxley would do very well with that belt and make it feel legitimate.
Real quick question for you guys, just to think about before we move to the next match. What happened at All In, right? did that force, do you think, maybe Tony Khan to pivot the booking in this match? Like, like maybe being without CM Punk for undisclosed amount of time because of all that beef that's happened. Does that maybe force Tony Khan's hand to give Moxley the belt because you need a big superstar to have the title in your company? Whereas maybe if the Punk thing didn't happen and Punk's still in the picture and he's the main event at All Out, Cassidy goes over and it's not the main event.
I mean, it could, but we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Right now, it's still really early to determine because, like I said, it ultimately gonna come down to what they do with Punk and what that we're not gonna know for another couple weeks. So,
oh my gosh, I
have a
could go 2 hours.
I have a better answer for you like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a good chance Moxley could have gotten, could obtain this title whether Punk was on the card or not. It's just one of those times where maybe it might be time to start a whole new story, with someone else, and could potentially go for the title. Like, it's for so many moments where Orange Cassidy can, pull out the victory, which what he's been doing for almost an entire year. So now you're walking into the buzzsaw of John Moxley, as well as the potential possibility of distractions by the Blackpool Combat Club. But Cassidy also has best friends too. But it's like, that would kind of lead into what you can almost get on Dynamite. Like, I would love for this to be a one-on-one match, and let this one truly decide who should be holding this international championship.
I would love for this to transform into best friends trying to get Yuta back and like him back and forth about being in the BCC and type of thing. I think that would be a great angle to go to. But we'll see where this goes. It's going to be interesting.
It would, but honestly, I think that might be a little bit of a stretch to a certain extent, because it's like, if you do that, then that means we got best friends, Blackpool Combat Club again for another 6 months, depending on whenever the next pay-per-view event going to be. And also keep in mind too, they made that announcement about the Wrestle Dream event that's going to be taking place, later this year with our New Japan promotions. So I think if they put the belt on Moxley, it sets up nicely for them to bring in a New Japan star that that can mix it up with Moxley by the time that event pulls up. Next match we're going to go with Kenny Omega going up against Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis in his corner. For this match, I don't know. I'm actually a little bit torn on this one, but I'm gonna just right out the gate instantly. I want to say Omega, but I wouldn't be surprised if Takeshita win this with some help either from Don Callis or someone else getting in the mix of this match. But I'm gonna go with Omega right now. Joey, your thoughts?
I don't. This match might be the hardest match to predict because, like, in one hand, Omega is your bread and butter. You need a big win for him on a main event scene. I can't remember the last time he's gotten a big win that mattered. But at the same time, Takeshita is a bubbling star where this win might put him over the top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Takeshita here.
Really?
I think personally, Takeshita needs to win more. The win for him does more for his character than the loss does hurting Kenny Omega's character, if that makes sense.
That actually does make sense, and I actually, kind of agree with you on that. But I'm gonna stick with my Omega.
As a fan, I want Omega to win because I feel like he needs that win.
Yeah.
But from a booking standpoint, I just think Takeshita works more because it can really shoot him into the stratosphere.
Right. Chris, your thoughts?
Quick question: when is Wrestle Kingdom?
January 4th.
Not till January. Okay. Takeshita. I was gonna go with Omega. What's the name? Goodbye. But Wrestle Kingdom was closer. I would say Omega wins, then he goes on to fight Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. Then Takeshita interferes in that match, and then they do have a blow off match, because just the whole Don Callis thing. But I'm gonna go with Takesha because, like I said, you can tell because AEW is trying their best to build this guy, and even though he's like Joey said, he's a bubbling guy that's like can be something good because he definitely good in the ring. He's not grasping the fans like that. You can tell he comes out, he doesn't get a lot of reaction, and that's because the language barrier. Also, that's why they have Don Callis with him. But also, you have even if there's a lot of these Japanese guys that comes over who don't speak the language, but they have a load of charisma, and but he tells charisma is not all there yet, so it's kind of making him hard to like kind of connect with the fans. So, the only way they can do it is by having him go over against top guys. So, what better guy to do it than Omega? So, I'm gonna say with a little bit of shenanigans, Don Callis is gonna do something. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to do something. He might get another cheap roll up and get the W and continues for something else. But for right now, I'm going to go with Takesha.
Got you. Pat, your thoughts?
I'm going to have to go with Kenny. I'm going to take Kenny. I want to go Kenny. It's going to flat out. I think Kenny's going to. I think Kenny has this one.
All right, got you. So I'll go out with Kenny, and so nobody went with Takesha.
I did.
I did. Joey did. Oh, wait. So we split.
Yeah.
My fault. I missed your. Oh, Miss Yours actually, Chris. Yeah, I do. I remember.
Wasn't listening to me. Okay, I hear you.
Nah. I heard the dialogue, but I missed the actual. I actually missed the win. Actually, you know what? I'm lying because I did hear you say about the roll up. Although they just did that at All In.
That's what I'm saying. They probably do it again. Like
if they do it again at All Out, that might be. Actually, that might actually be kind of like crazy on the same hand. Like you just wrote me up twice. Like really, we're gonna do this here. So, but
random Lola Vice. My God.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that after at the end of the conclusion of Still Steps. But man. Joe Howe, he checked in real quick. He said Kenny Omega wins as well.
Like we said, we got a lot of wrestling this week. Unfortunately, we weren't going to be able to get to everything. We're going up almost 2 hours. There's more matches we could cover here, but
absolutely, and we got to be respectful and allow the fighting final, to hop on EOP Sports tonight. But again, we definitely got a lot of wrestling going on this week. To those in the tri-state area, MLW Furry Road going on September 3rd at 2300 Arena. Myself and Joey will be down at the venue. Part of the media scrum. This is going to a great opportunity to to be able to do this, and we'll come back next Friday as far as new week, new night of Turnbuckle Talk. Talk about everything that's going on in this week of pro wrestling, as well as what we find, from this event at Ferry Road, and meet our compadres, part of the Boombaye Fight Club. Absolutely. So, everyone, it's been a pleasure.
And next week got the struggles on, I believe, promoter of ET Wrestling. So we'll be dropping a little more information about that too.
Absolutely. So shout out to everybody that chimed in through Facebook, through Twitter, through YouTube, Twitch, all the platforms. We greatly appreciate it. So till next Friday, this has been Still Steps from Mr. Moyo Fit Chris Wilson, Mr. Joey Woods, Brother Pat from Ambler. I am Politic and Hot. We are out of here, and we'll be talking to y'all next week. Peace.